Elisha has taken Elijah's place, and Israel is in terrible shape. The multiple choice questions in Carl Shoup's book, Test Your Bible Knowledge, follow the books of the Bible, and this part of 2 Kings primarily focuses on Israel and Syria and the miraculous works of Elisha. This is another very interesting part of the Bible. Ahab has passed on, and his son Jehoram has taken over as king of Israel. What follows are stories concerning military strategies and wartime economics, and we even get some insight into the army of angels that are always about us, but hid from our view. Now, each multiple choice question comes with a reference from the Bible, and there are 4 answer choices per question. It is my job to choose the correct answer for each of the 10 questions. Okay, I'm ready to test my Bible knowledge, and I'll start with number 421. When some little children came out of Bethel and mocked Elisha, he A. paid no attention, B. inquired into their family background, C. had them apprehended, D. cursed them in the name of the Lord, so that she-bears tore 42 of them. Okay, I remember this story, and it is definitely answer D. Cursed them, and she-bears attacked them. 422. Elisha's power of prophecy was stirred by A. Dancer, B. Minstrel, C. Wind, or D. Priest. I think for this question I'm going to choose answer B. Minstrel, which would be music, and that seems to make sense here, so I'm going to choose B. Minstrel for 422. 423. When the Moabites saw the water opposite them as red as blood, they A. fled from the Israelites in fear, B. attacked the Israelites with optimism, C. fought one another in panic, or D. were rooted to the ground with astonishment. I think the answer for this one is B. attacked the Israelites with optimism. No, I'm going to change that. I think it's actually A. Fled from the Israelites in fear. I think that's what happened here in this question 423. I'm going to pick A. Fled from the Israelites in fear. 422. The victorious Israelites ruined the Moabites' lands by A. sowing them with salt, B. covering them with stones, C. crisscrossing them with ditches, or D. carrying away the topsoil. Okay, this one's a pretty good question here, and I'm glad that it came after 423. I think that A was the correct answer for that, fled from the Israelites in fear. But now, what did the Israelites do to the Moabites' land? The choices again are sowing them with salt, which would ruin the land, B. covering them with stones, that would be a good way of ruining the land also, C. crisscrossing them with ditches, I'm not so sure about that one, D. carrying away the topsoil, I don't think that sounds very practical. So it's between A and B. For this one, I'm going to choose B. Covering them with stones, and we'll see what the answer is. 424, I'm going to choose B. 425. Through Elisha's intervention, the widow filled with oil several A. vessels, B. jars, C. buckets, or D. cruises. Okay, very specific containers are the answer choices. Would it be A. vessel, B. a jar, C. a bucket, or D. a cruise? We've ran into cruises already with Elijah. Jars and buckets, I'm not quite sure if that would be the correct answer, so I'm going to eliminate those two. A. vessels, that seems to be a pretty good one here also. So for 425, I want to go with A. vessels. 426. Elisha did not A. neutralize the pottage poison by casting meal into the pot, B. cause 20 loaves of barley and full ears of corn to suffice for 100 men, C. cure the Syrian army commander of leprosy, or D. cure his servant of leprosy. This is a pretty good question. It covers a lot of material here. The answer choice C, cure the Syrian army commander of leprosy. I know that Elisha definitely did that. And the answer question is asking for what Elisha did not do. And the only answer choice that would satisfy that question, I believe, is D, did not cure his servant of leprosy. So for 426, I'm going to go for answer choice D. 427. The Syrians stopped their raids into Israel after Elisha had caused the Syrian army to be blinded and had A, sold them into captivity, B, restored their sight and sent them home, C, kept them as servants, or D, let them beg through Israel. All right, I do not really remember this part of the story. I remember that the army was led, I think, into Samaria, I believe. And then I think that they were able to return. I'm not too sure, though, of the answer here. I'm going to eliminate A, sold them into captivity. I don't believe that's the answer for this question. B, it sounds good, restored their sight and sent them home, so I'm going to keep that one for right now. C, kept them as servants. I don't think that's the correct answer here. I'm going to eliminate that one. D, let them beg through Israel. I'm going to eliminate that one also. So the only one I'm left with is B. I'm going to choose answer choice B for 427. 428. The woman in the siege of Samaria, who had boiled her son and eaten him with another woman, begged the king for help because A, the second woman had hidden her son, B, her conscience was tormenting her to insanity, C, she was still frantic with hunger, or D, she sought death but dared not achieve it. I do kind of remember this story, and I'm pretty sure that A is the answer. The second woman had hidden her son. So for 428, I'm going to go with A. 429. The question, quote, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, might this thing be, unquote, proved to be, for the speaker, A, fortunate, B, far-seeing, C, fatal, or D, fortuitous. I remember this one because the quote is a pretty famous quote, and I believe the answer is C, fatal. I think in the story that Elisha had predicted that there would be a lot of wheat, or that the famine would finally be over, and it did in fact end, but the person that uttered this quote wasn't able to partake of the food that was found. So for 429, I'm going to stick with C, fatal, as my answer. All right, 430. The Syrians panicked and so lifted the siege under an illusion of A, sight, B, hearing, C, touch, or D, smell. And I believe that the answer here is A, sight. It seems to fit the question. The question reads under an illusion of, so I'm going to stick with A as my answer, sight, and we'll see in just a second if that's the right answer. All right, that's the end of that set of 10, and I'm going to turn back to the answers and see how many of these I was able to get correct. I hope I was able to get a lot of them correct. The first one, 421, the correct answer for that question is D, and I put down D. That was the question about the little children and the she-bears that attacked them. 422, the correct answer is B, and I put down B. That question, it asked about Elisha's power of prophecy and how it was stirred, and it is B, minstrel. All right, 423. The correct answer for that is B, and I wrote down A. So let me turn back and read that one. That question stated, when the Moabites saw the water opposite them as red as blood, I put down A, fled from the Israelites in fear. But the correct answer here, it says, is B, attacked the Israelites with optimism. So I answered that one incorrectly. All right, 424. The answer for that is B also, and I put down B. That question stated, the victorious Israelites ruined the Moabites' land by, and it was B, covering them with stones. 425. The correct answer for that one is A, and that's what I have down here is A. That question was the one about the vessels or the jars or the buckets, and it was in fact vessels that the widow would fill with oil. 426. This one was a really good question, I thought. The correct answer is D, and that's what I put down, D. That question it was the one that just stated Elisha did not, and then it listed a few of these miracles here, and D was the correct answer, did not cure his servant of leprosy. 427. The correct answer is B, and that's what I put down here as B. That question was the one that said the Syrians stopped their raids into Israel after Elisha had caused the Syrian army to be blinded and had, then it listed sold in captivity or restored their sight and sent them home, and that's the one that I picked, and that was indeed the right answer, B. 428. The correct answer for that one is A, and that's what I put down here. That question asked the woman in the siege of Samaria who had boiled her son. Oh, that's right. And we wanted to know what happened with the second woman. It looks like A, the second woman had hidden her son. So that's the one I picked, got that one right. All right, 429. The correct answer for that one is C. All right, I got that one right. This one was the question with the quote in there about windows in heaven, and it was in fact C, fatal for the person that spoke that statement. All right, 430. The correct answer for that one is B, and I put down A. So I'm going to look back. That's right, it was the one that said, at the end of it, it said under an illusion of, and I thought that maybe illusion would lead me to the correct answer of A, but actually it's B, hearing. The Syrians panicked and so lifted the siege under an illusion of B, hearing. Okay, I was able to answer 8 of those correctly, which is 80%, which is not too bad. Again, it's not a 100%, which is what I keep striving for, but I'll take the 8 out of 10 for this one. Well, in the next set of 10 questions, we will continue in the book of 2 Kings and learn more about the various kings of Israel and Judah. Eventually, the children of Israel will be removed from the promised land. Like I said at the beginning, these stories are very interesting, and we get a chance to see what happens when a people stray from the commandments of God.